What's up, RC fam? So what we have going on in the workshop today is we're going to be starting the build on our ultimate HOSS here. Just to be clear, I have not had any issues out of this truck. I've had this truck since day one. I've run it hard, bashed it hard, crashed it, and to be honest, I can't remember. I think the only thing that I've ever broken on this truck has been I split a tire. And I split the tire not because it was over rev, because these sledgehammer tires up here are pretty good, but because I believe I ran over something sharp that just cut the tire. But haven't had any issues on it. But I'm going to be upgrading my HOSS and doing what I like to call my personal ultimate HOSS. In a previous video that I posted that I will attach the link to on my channel, I gave a list of all the parts that were available at the time to upgrade the HOSS, and this is going to be part one of that upgrade. These are the parts that I'm going to be upgrading with the HOSS today. I have the aluminum diff cover, we have the aluminum motor mount, we have the aluminum motor plate. I believe this is the front differential, this is the front spiral differential, and this is the rear. I could have those reversed, but we're going to be doing this today if I have it reversed. But I'll put a link to all of these parts in the description. But this is what I like to call the innards of upgrading the HOSS. These are the pieces that you're not going to see, but I believe they're going to help me with performance. As I mentioned in my previous video, in my HOSS currently, I have a 6S ESC. So I'm not worried about overheating my ESC. I believe that adding specifically this aluminum motor mount and this aluminum motor plate will help just distribute a little bit of the heat from the motor, so give me some slightly better run times, or I shouldn't say slightly better run times, but will help with absorbing some of the heat, so I won't have any issues with my run time as we continue to run here during the summer. So with that being said, let's get to work. Okay, so with this ultimate HOSS build, we're going to be starting with the front bulkhead here. So if I'm right, I believe there are 5 screws in order to get this front bulkhead off. So we're going to start with the top 2 right here. Okay, so you can see I just pulled out these the 2 screws up front to pull the bulkhead off. Now you need to pull out the next 2 screws, which are located back here. So the first one is right here. I'm gonna pull this one out. Now I actually have my antenna mounted here for a different reason. Your antenna usually wouldn't be mounted in your way. And then the second screw is over here and it's underneath this cushion right here. So you got to pull this cushion back for your battery to get to that screw right there. But let's take those 2 screws out, and we just have one more to get the front bulkhead. The last thing that should be holding it together should be, oops, get this up here right. Should be the linkage right here for your servo, and that one I believe you're going to need a 2.0. And with that, the bulkhead comes right off. All right, so we're continuing to take this bulkhead apart to get to this spiral diff. So next, we're going to be removing the bumper. So we're going to be taking apart, as you can see, these 2 screws right here to remove the front bumper. Flipping this over. Looks like we have to take out 5 screws in order to get to the bottom of this thing. Let's just take out these first 3 to begin with, and then let's see if we have to take out the other 2 on the back end to get it off. So we're going to start off with these 3 up here. Okay, so yep. So bumper's off. Getting closer. Now, if I'm right, we should only need 3 more screws to reach the center diff. Let's just brush this off a little. Since we're in here, give it a little bit of this dirt. So, needed 2.0, we should have to take off this screw right here. And then these 2 screws right here, and we should be at the center diff. Excuse me, the front diff. So, last thing is we just need to remove the axles. So, just need a 1.5 millimeter, and we're going to be taking these off right here. And with that, this should come right out. So this is the spiral diff that we're going to be replacing. The bearings look pretty good, so I won't be replacing those. Just clean them up a little. So what we're going to be replacing right here is we're going to be replacing the ring gear right here. And we're also going to be replacing the pinion, the differential pinion right here. So you can barely see that in there. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see that in there, but I'll show you when I take it out. So we're going to be replacing the differential pinion in here. Like I said, I'm not sure if you guys can see that in here, but when I take it out, I'll show it to you. We're going to have to remove that here. So we have to remove this drive hub here in the back. This also takes a 1.5 millimeter. So we're going to take this drive hub off the back here. And now we just take this drive hub off and we're good. And now the spiral pinion gear will come right out. Just pop that right out. Yeah. And the pinion gear is out. So now thing is nice and greasy, but let's check the diff level. Wow. Oh my god. Know how you guys can see that, but that is I believe they do put diff oil in here. I have to check the recommendations on what Traxxas puts in here, but that is really low. Okay guys, so I cleaned off the spider gears really quick, you know, a little brake fluid, and now I'm going to reassemble these spider gears inside of this new aluminum diff. Just a real point of clarity, because I believe I showed this in a earlier clip, is that those small metal plates that you see on the side, those actually have to go on with the spider gears first. In an earlier clip, I actually already had them in here, and that's obviously wrong. I don't want anybody to make that mistake or try to do that. You actually have to put them on the spider gears first before you drop them into the diff cup. So in order to put this back together, you know, you just reverse these steps to throw this back together. All right, so we have the front back together. So now we're going to be moving on to the back. And in the back, not only are we going to be installing the spiral diff, but we're also going to be installing the motor plate and the motor mount. So let's get to work on the back. Now, if I was just doing the diff, I could just take off these two screws right here. Let me see, use the pointer. 1, 2, and I would be in there, you know, and beyond removing the drive shafts, I would be in there. But since I'm going a little deeper into this, we're going to keep it going, because like I said, I'm going to be taking off the motor plate. Now this rear bulkhead will come right off. And the original diff is out. So here we go, installing part 6879R, installing that right here. So you can see we popped out the pinion gear, and we're going to be replacing it with this spiral cut pinion gear. Just wanted to make sure I didn't forget that during my maintenance, but that is how I would destroy that new spiral cut pinion gear. So after you replace that, I've already installed the spiral cut pinion gear here. So I'll just be adding some grease here and reverse order assembling this back together. Now, if you're using an electric screwdriver like I am, this is where you have to be careful when you're putting it back together. For me, as soon as I start feeling a little resistance, that's when I stop. I stop. See, so I'm getting it about, I would say about 80% in, and then I'm stopping, and I will tighten it up the rest of the way by hand. So we're continuing right now with our upgrade. So now moving on to the motor plate and the motor mount. Now you may not have this issue. I've installed the fan here on my HOSS, you know, to help with the motor temps. So I have to take this fan off before I can remove my motor. Now if you haven't done this upgrade, I would highly recommend you do it. I don't remember the part number off the top of my head, but I will put the link for this fan and the heat sink that's underneath it into this video, to the bottom of this video. I also have a telemetry expander up here that I just have, this is literally just held up there by some zip ties. But does the job, it stays. Now I have this heat sink. There we go. Now twist that completely out of my way. Now this will come all the way out. This motor plate now should come right out. There we go. So that motor's out. I'm going to take that off in a second. I'll detach that from the motor. But I wanted to see, there is a small screw underneath here that holds the mount in. I was wondering why the mount wasn't coming off, but there is a small screw right here that's holding the mount in, and I did not see. So that is the third screw. Motor mount out. That was a pain in the butt. Strip this son of a gun down really deep. So first things first, we're going to be throwing in part 6860R. This is the aluminum motor mount. Okay, motor mount installed. Now we need to do the motor plate. So it's just a 2.0 to take these two motor plate screws off. I am going to have to remove the pinion gear. We'll be installing part number 6890X. So it should be pretty apparent which side goes in. So you got those. That's the cool side. That's what I like to call it. At least that's what I'm calling it. And obviously the side with the bevels in it for the screws goes that way. So you can see we got the motor plate installed and the motor mount. Now I made the error of taking off my ESC because I thought I needed to remove the screw that the motor plate. I thought I needed to remove the screw that the motor plate mounts to. I did not. So you don't make that error. You do not have to remove your ESC. And wow, that's a lot of rust. Woohoo! So part one of the ultimate HOSS build is complete. We replaced the ring gear for the front and the rear, and I keep during the video I kept referring to these things as the spiral. The spiral, these are actually spiral cut ring gears that I replaced the stock ones with. So I apologize during the course of the video. I kept referring to them as that. But these are actually the ring gears and the differential pinions that I replaced. And these are all spiral cut, but these upgrades are now complete. One upgrade that I didn't list in the video that I didn't show, but I actually completed afterwards and I didn't do a video of, is I actually upgraded the fans that are inside of here for my motor, for my fan for my motor, and also the fan for my ESC. So this is the parts that I bought. These are the EcoPower fans. I got these from Main Hobbies. Let me see if I get a little better picture if you guys can see. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see that, but these are the fans that I purchased, and these fans are a little more powerful than these stock fans right here, and they are a direct fit inside of the ESC or any of your Traxxas vehicles, the 6S ESC, the 8S ESC, or the 4S ESC. These fans are a direct replacement, and they are a little more powerful than the stock fans that come in there. And when you're battling heat, they're I'll take any advantage that I can get. All right, guys. So we've completed the first part of our ultimate HOSS build. We replace the center diff housing. Well, actually, we replaced the differential housing for the front and rear differentials with the aluminum housing. We also replaced the ring gears for both the front and rear diff with spiral cut ring gears to hopefully handle a little more power. And we did an upgrade to the motor mount and an upgrade to the motor plate with Traxxas aluminum upgrades for both of those pieces. All right, so with that first part of the upgrade complete, we'll be coming at you soon with the second part of my ultimate HOSS build, and I'll see you guys soon. Let's go have some fun.